We're here today between State Library and Parkville in the westbound tunnel that in the future will service trains leading on to Sunshine and out to Sunbury. We're here today because we've got a major milestone and that's the installation of the track systems, the rail systems that will ultimately take the trains through each of the tunnels between South Yarra and South Kensington. The first stage of the track installation is the installation of what we call floating slab track, or otherwise known as FST. The floating slab track is in areas of the tunnel where we've got sensitive receivers, so it's to compensate or to dampen any noise and vibration that may be realised through the tunnel in sensitive areas around where the hospital precincts are. The floating slab track is actually precast here in Melbourne, and we transport it down from the manufacturer in Melbourne. We bring it into Arden Station, lower it down through Arden Station, across the platform areas into the tunnel areas. We bring that down to the working area using what we call multi-service vehicles. Those multi-service vehicles are those that we used previously for the building of the tunnel. They are brought down to the work area, and then what we've got purpose-built gantries that provide the ability to be able to lift those floating slab tracks off into a position where we can then move them into their final position. Again, those gantries are something that's been purpose-built for this project and built here in Melbourne. The floating slab track is actually made up of 9 individual units that are brought together to make what we call a span. Those spans are then placed onto jacks initially, and they're post-tensioned in a similar way to how we build bridges, and then lowered down onto bearing pads. Those bearing pads that we've got are a thick rubber elastomeric product, and what that does is that gives us the ability to be able to dampen some of the vibration that goes out. Once those are lowered down and final positioned, then we'll move on to the next span. So we're building span after span, which is approximately 19 metres long, made up of 9 individual units, and that's a continual production line. So these panels are a first for Australia, and when I say a first, is because it's the first time we've actually used precast panels in the tunnel. A lot of the methodologies previously have been actually in situ construction using Rio, concrete pour, etc. This is a much cleaner, a much safer and a better quality product at the end of the day, because a lot of the aspects associated with quality and the final finish is actually taken care of in the manufacturing facility, and it's then for us to actually place it as a structural element and tie them all together inside the tunnel, which is an easier process. So throughout the 2 9-kilometre tunnels that we've got, there's in excess of 1,000 units that we've had precast that go through the tunnels in various sections. So when they're on the trains here in the tunnel, the system once built will provide the customer, the passengers, with a world-class system where it's a turn up and go from the new stations that we've got, the iconic stations. It'll be a quieter, more comfortable journey as we move through as a result of the technologies that we're using in and around the tunnel infrastructure. And will ultimately be probably the benchmark for what we do going forward.